We now return to Mega March.
Hello everybody, and welcome back to Mega March. This year we are comparing designs between Ruby Spears and Captain N, and for half of this, God help us. I am joined with Twitch from Reploid REVO.
How's it going, everybody?
And Protodude from Rockman Corner.
Hey everybody, I'm already having an aneurysm.
We haven't even started!
Yeah, you know, I've found that's to be a common thread is when we post the pictures for reference to prepare for this episode, we immediately look at them and we're like, oh god, what's happening? Like, the discussion hasn't started, but we're already physically recoiling in horror as we see these things appear, so,
Yeah.
you know.
Well, okay, let's dive right in and hit the elephant in the room and just talk about the little green boy. Because I have a lot of questions.
Oh boy, yeah.
Why is he a little green boy?
He's a little green boy who sounds like Popeye.
Mega high!
Oh, jeez.
There he is.
It hurts.
His voice is like sandpaper. It's it's really or more like he ate some sandpaper, really. He's so strange. So the first thing everyone notices, of course, is that Captain N Mega Man is green instead of blue, which just seems like blasphemy. You know, I don't. Maybe they thought he was Quint or something. I don't know. If you think about it, he does kind of look more like Quint than anything.
He does. He's got the sunglasses,
Yeah.
ish, and the green. Yeah.
Yeah, he's green and yellow with like blue accents, very few blue accents, and he's got like the dark eyes thing going on. But no, that's supposed to be Mega Man, everyone. That's Mega Man. Apparently he's got a very small like little V-neck for some reason. I don't know why they
off the goods.
I don't know why they decided to add that, but yeah, he looks like a chubby little toddler with the voice of a 50 packs a day, chain smoker. And he's just kind of missing all the things that really make him Mega Man. Like, I don't know how else to describe it. The only reason I know that this is Mega Man is because someone told me.
I think in silhouette, it would definitely be Mega Man. But then as soon as you just change the opacity just a little bit, it's like, oh god, what happened to you?
Well, yeah, he's got the helmet crest going on, and he has, like, the same kind of ears, but really they're, like, little round nubs or something. And he doesn't have a Mega Buster. He's got, like, a wrist blaster for some reason.
At least he's not, like, carrying around, like, a squirt gun or something.
Yeah,
like
that would have been the ultimate insult. At least it's an arm-mounted weapon.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
I'm looking at it now, and I just don't understand. Like, what were they referencing?
I honestly can't figure it out. As I've been doing these episodes, looking at these things, I'm just kind of like again, I said this in every episode, but what were they thinking? Is like, we look at it and we try to like deconstruct what their thought process might have been. But when I see them, I'm just so baffled. I'm like, I don't know who could have gathered that from what you were given. Like,
yeah,
it's weird.
Were they given like a black and white printout of Mega Man? And like, what color is he supposed to be? I don't know. Whatever your favorite color is.
Yeah. I had heard rumors that they actually did not have color images of a lot of the characters, so that I think is true. And they played the games, because they did have, like, games to demo. I believe when they played them, there's a rumor that I think it was on a broken TV, so the colors were all shifted. Which is why Mega Man comes out green instead of, blue. And instead of anyone being like, hey, the color's busted on this thing, they just kind of took it at face value.
Yeah.
I don't know, but there's times where we can see in the designs where it's like, oh, they definitely had some art for this, because it's like, that's a detail that's not present on the sprite, but is present in the artwork, or vice versa. So we're like, okay, they were looking at something, but usually they just take it into complete left field. Like, for instance, when we were talking about Crash Man, they gave him a lacrosse arm. He has like a lacrosse scoop that has like a bomb in it, like an Acme bomb, like Wile E. Coyote would have, like a little bowling ball thing with a fuse in it. And I'm just like, no, where'd they even get that from? He doesn't look anything like that. You know, so looking at Mega Man, I feel almost as if, like you said, they saw his silhouette, but, like, just filled in the details, like, with whatever they wanted.
Well, the thing that I can see, and we've talked about it before, is what's supposed to be a visor, I guess? Like, that's the interpretation of the googly anime eyes, like, on the sprite. I get where they're coming from,
Maybe?
but instead they're just like, Adam West Batman, just draw some eyebrows on it. It's fine.
Yeah, he has like an Adam West Batman cowl on. It's so strange. And we discussed this while talking about Roll, and I'm like, I feel like they took the man in Mega Man and were like, oh, so he's like a superhero. Batman's a superhero, you know, and so they, you know what I mean? So they just kind of drew from what they knew, which was like outdated comic books, you know?
Yeah. Oh, I can imagine like the first production meeting, and you know, they're like,
"Oh, would it be a fly on the wall of that?"
Blue Bomber. I mean, he's green. You know?
Yeah. Why? Well, did he have that nickname, the Blue Bomber, by Mega Man 3? I think.
I would just love to have seen that. It's like, oh, it's Mega Man, the Blue Bomber. Like, he's green for some reason. It must be one of those ironic superheroes.
Ironic superheroes.
I'm the Blue Bomber! Mega Man, go take a nap.
I think it was Mega Man 2 Nintendo Power Guide. It's where they first referenced Blue Bomber.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, well, there you go.
So
that was...
They had to have had that, and I don't know.
I mean...
Blue equals green.
Yeah, none of them really, you know, paid attention very well, I guess. Like...
Oh, no.
There's so many... case, and you know, another thing is, like, I'm looking at him. I want to, like, actually, I'm gonna do this while we're talking. I'm gonna hue correct this image of Captain N Mega Man, and I'm gonna see if when I hue correct him, like just hue slider, does he appear blue at some point, like in the proper Mega Man colors? Because if so, I feel like that would validate the TV theory. Like, it's the only thing I can think of is like maybe that's what happened. You know, where. But then you have to think, well, where did they get the wrist blaster thing? You can see his whole arm turns into, like a giant Easter egg, you know, with like a thing on the front.
They probably just couldn't comprehend that idea. They're like, what? Where's his hand? He's still got it, I guess. He's bending it.
Yeah, I don't understand where they were getting this from.
But okay, I'm gonna admit, when I was a kid, I kind of liked how different the design was, because Ruby Spears Mega Man, you know, he was always blue. He didn't change with powers and stuff. And I was like, oh, this one's a different color. You know, this is Player 2 Mega Man. Mm-hmm. You know, and like I respected that, but it's so bad and weird at the same time.
It's an anomaly.
Yeah, and he's got the Jetsons shoulder thingies.
Yeah, he's like that thing that you put on shoulders to like, you know, like the Zap Brannigan uniform to make you look like you're in the future.
Yes, it's got a name for it. That 50s
retro future.
Sci-fi. Is that it? I don't know.
But you know, I just had a thought. Like, his little mohawk thing is yellow, and in some of the Nintendo Power art, like especially for Mega Man 2. It was like that was always yellow no matter what, and it was so strange. So I wonder if they saw that and they're like, I guess it's yellow.
Well, you know, we already concluded that they must have seen some of the Western box art for Mega Man and probably took some examples from that. You know, like, didn't we say, like, oh, maybe, like, the goggles or whatever probably came from that one art where they gave Mega Man, like, an actual
Mega Man
visor?
2, yeah.
Yeah, where he, like, actually had a visor, you know, something like that.
The bicycle helmet, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, like... Yeah. And I don't know. And you know what's crazy about this, though, is, like, we love to rip on Captain N, but, like, Western box art Mega Man was not accurate or even remotely close to Mega Man until, like, what, Mega Man 5? Like, he started off as bad box art Mega Man from Mega Man 1, and then each game he got progressively closer and closer and closer to the Japanese box art, but it didn't happen until Mega Man 8, where they actually were like, no more American box art.
Yeah, they just took
the Japanese art and then used it, which I think is a great improvement. Like, Mega Man 7 even, it is Mega Man, but he's still kind of like muscular, and they're still drawing his face kind of funny, and he has like an MM and like a belt buckle.
I
For
love
some,
that belt.
like to let
I
you
do
know that
too.
he's Mega Man. Like, you
No,
know?
he just ate some Chef Boyardee, and he's just like,
He has it set for Mega Mini when he should have set it for Wega Wumbo.
Wega Wumbo.
Yeah. I don't know. It's so strange.
Wumbo.
Like they started off so far from the source material, and then like it only took him like 15 years to finally get back to where he started.
Right.
You know, for whatever
Right.
reason. And then, you know, so, you know, Western box art is not really free from sin either, so who knows? They could have been drawing from any number of inspirations just with how they were trying to interpret him. I don't know.
Well, little known fact, the entire production staff on that show was colorblind, so
That makes,
you know,
Explains everything.
nothing helped.
that makes
Mystery
a
solved.
lot more sense. Yeah, mystery
What do you mean
solved.
he is blue? Alright.
All right, no problem. Like no one wanted to broach the subject. They thought it was like too sensitive. They're like, no, I don't really want to hurt Bill's feelings by telling him like that's not correct color. But you know, kids won't notice.
Yeah. He lives, except for the, no, maybe they're like all colorblind kids watching too. No one spoke
true.
up.
Exactly. See, colorblind representation way back in the '80s. It was great.
Yep.
But
It was mega cool.
Mega cool.
I got some fun.
I feel like the more we do this, he starts to sound like Krillin almost. like
Mondo cool.
Mondo cool, but just it's mega cool. Mega cool.
Mega
boy.
Mondo.
Mega Mondo.
All right, I got it. We gotta move over to Ruby Spears. This is killing my throat. Just
Yeah, please.
listening to you. So Ruby Spears Mega Man. What they got right, his color. What they got wrong. Not a whole ton, I guess. Although they did Americanize him. Now, what I find funny about this, because we've been talking about all the Ruby Spears designs up to this point, but when we're talking about Mega Man, I feel like this kind of applies to like the entire series of Ruby Spears.
Yes.
But they originally, from what I understand, had a few pilot episodes, which were known as the Mega Man Wish Upon a Shooting Star OVAs or whatever they were called.
Yes.
Those, I believe, were the original quote-unquote pilots for a Mega Man cartoon. They were half educational, half action, or something like that. They're really well made, and I recommend everyone go check them out. They are spread all over YouTube, both in English and in Japanese for all 3 episodes, which is really interesting because if you watch the Japanese dub of the first one, everyone calls Mega Man Mega Man. Like, they don't say Rockman, even though they're speaking Japanese. It's very strange. Like, I don't know why they went with the... Like, they'll say Proto Man instead of Blues for some reason. I don't know what's up with that, but whatever. So, after these OVAs were made, it sort of acted as a pilot for a Mega Man cartoon. Now, the cartoon itself, I don't believe, was supposed to be, like, a educational show, like, the whole time. I think they were just... That was just kind of their way of getting their foot in the door to, you know, to get like a Japanese animation studio to be like, you know, hey Capcom, what do you think if we made this Mega Man cartoon, you know, for America? You could totally make it educational about Japan and like teach foreigners about, you know, Japan and how cool it is, you know. And I don't know, I feel like that's just kind of the vibe I get, but it's still a great watch. It's really funny. It's really good humor, great action. It's great. It's awesome. It's very game accurate. I have to give him a lot of credit for that.
It's Mega Man.
Yeah, it's Mega Man. It's very Inafune style. It looks like they just took his sketches and just bam, right onto the screen. It's great. And then there was like, there's another video circulating around. It's like this guy who's like, he's talking to you like a used car salesman. He's very fast and his voice is very elevated at all times. And he's trying to like tell you like how cool Mega Man is. And he's like, it's the hot new show coming to you in 1994 for boys. It's Mega Man, you know. And he's like,
Yeah, it's the pitch video. I love that one.
That's the pitch video, which has a little bit more original animation to it. But then ultimately, I think they decided like anime and that style of art was just not popular at the time, and so they went with the style that we see now. And so this is kind of interesting because in the OVAs, there's actually sequences of animation which were, I'm not going to say traced, but they were heavily referenced. And then if you, like, not to plug my own videos here, but if you go check out the Who Exactly is Mega Man video I did, I actually have a side-by-side comparison of them, and, like, frame for frame, there's sequences where, like, Mega Man does an action, and Ruby Spears Mega Man does the same thing. So,
the thing he does when he gets a weapon is the main one.
Yeah.
And I love it.
And it's that, and I think it's where he, like, aims his buster, and, like, you know, yeah, it's really interesting, like, you know, how they kind of worked off of that. And so another interesting fact about this is that Inafune actually did sketches for what a quote-unquote American Mega Man might look like, which if you have R20, R25, or the American variations of that, or Mega Man Official Complete Works, whatever version of the art book you have, you can see some of these. And he, like, I think he's responsible for, like, the muscly Ruby Spears look that we have, because in those pictures, he kind of drew Mega Man looking kind of like a, I don't know, the image that pops up into my head is like a spunky baseball player. Like, he's kind of like...
okay, I can see that.
He's like a little muscly, and he kind of has like it looks like he's kind of squishing his cheek, like you can see his lip pushed to one side, and his cheek is almost like Popeye's expression, you know?
Wait, Popeye was Captain N, though.
Well, he got the voice, but, you know.
I always thought that one looked like JFK. just a little bit.
I know. Well, they do start off the very first episode in JFK Airport, so...
That's true. That's a remnant.
You might be onto something. Oh man, we're gonna have to go into, like, you know, like the Protodude case files where we're, like, you know, digging stuff up. First we started with Lion Man, and now we're on to this. Oh boy. So you're gonna get a legal notice from someone that just says you're sticking your nose places it doesn't belong.
The JFK estate.
Oh my god, you took it right from me.
Oh no! We're gonna connect, like, JFK to Mega Man, and it's gonna be all sorts of crazy. Let's not complicate things.
Yeah. Assassination,
the magic bullet was Rolling Cutter, because it just does whatever they need. That's how it is, guys. We solved the case.
I'm dying.
I knew I could take him out if I tried.
Oh man.
Oh man.
So, moving right along, past any other presidential conspiracies, Muscly Mega Man was kind of conceived right from the beginning. I think they thought that, like, anime was not going to catch on. It was too cutesy. They wanted like a tough boy show, yeah, you know, more in line with, like, G.I. Joe or whatever. And so they Americanized him. But I feel like, even though we can look at this and be like, oh my god, this is so crazy, why would they do that? It, like, weirdly kind of worked.
Yeah.
I kind of liked it. Like, when I think of Mega Man, like, Ruby Spears Mega Man, like, I don't normally focus on, like, the man half of Mega Man. But if I had to, I feel like Ruby Spears hit that perfect mixture. You know, as opposed to the Western box art where, like, they take Mega Man, draw him exactly in his Japanese art counterpart proportions, but then give him, like, a really weird scrunched up orange face where he just kind of looks like a small man who's been compressed into the shape of Mega Man. You know what I mean? But Ruby, I mean, that's what he looks like. But Ruby Spears Mega Man is like, yeah, okay, I buy it. I get where they're coming from with that. You know, he kind of looks like, I don't know, like a badass teenager or something. You know, like he's gonna kick some butt, but he's still kid friendly enough that he can be, you know, like, charming and sweet, and not necessarily, like, you know, extreme to the max. You know, he doesn't quite look like Wolverine from X-Men.
He's basically like a Power Ranger. You know, like appeal to kids by being the next step up, like by being a teenager.
Yeah, kind of like that. And outside of the musclification they gave him and the knee pads that everyone seems to have, they didn't really change too much. I noticed that a lot of the Ruby Spears designs, they make them a little bit more robotic, and I think they did that for Mega Man by kind of segmenting the wrists and feet, kind of like Mega Man X would in the future. But classic Mega Man, everyone's got, like, the squishy wrists and the squishy ankles because it's supposed to be, like, squishy and cartoony. Same thing with Ruby Spears, they kind of got rid of that, and only used it in very rare examples. And, like, so, like, characters who would normally have, like, a regular mouth on, like, a face, like Bomb Man, they turned his mouth into, like, a flap to make it more robotic. And they just did very little changes like that, and I don't know, Mega Man, he's recognizably Mega Man here. You know?
Yeah, like there are hardly any real differences. I mean, like the gem thingy on his forehead is turned
it's
45
just,
degrees.
Yeah, it's just a sideways square. I don't know why they decided to do that. Like,
it looks cool. I
mean,
like it.
It works.
Yeah.
I'm just curious, like, you know, what was the thought process behind that when they did it? Like, well, the square is okay, but what if we turned it into a diamond? Diamonds are cool.
That's extreme.
It's cool. It's sharper.
His pecs are square. We gotta do something with the head.
Yeah.
yeah.
Something
Too many squares.
Like Too many squares. You kids don't want to be square. Squares are losers. They're chumps.
But we gotta
cool.
subtly keep some squares in. Just put them on his arm there. Make them yellow.
Yeah, there you go. Exactly.
Yeah.
They gave
That's
him
sexy. That's hot.
They gave him like a little block of cheddar on his wrist, you know.
Block of cheddar.
You know,
when he gets hungry, you can just.
Yeah, exactly. When he's low on energy, he reaches for it, you know. Yeah, it's basically.
I like the Buster design with the studded barrel and the.
That's pretty cool.
The yellow buttons on it. It's cool.
Yeah.
It looks more toy-ish,
yes.
but in a good way. You know.
Yeah, and I think we discussed this during the episode on Roll, where we were talking about like. Roll's quote-unquote Buster has like the inset little strip with like the lines on it, just like actual game Mega Man has. But Ruby Spears Mega Man has like an elevated yellow thing as like buttons, and I'm like, no, why would they do that? And then we realize, oh, he uses them as buttons in the show, but also that's the button for firing the weapons on the toys. So I wonder how many of these things they changed about it so that it was to sell toys, you know.
I don't know. But he's got this cool Converse, you know, so he's ready.
It's true. Yeah, I always say that like the Ruby Spears characters are wearing like Converse sneakers because their feet are usually unchanged except they added like a white tip to the front, or if it's not a white tip, it's usually like, you know, blue or red, something matching their, you know, usual color accents. I don't know why they did that, but, you know, whatever. It's just added little details but not crazy. They didn't just go off the walls like Captain N did. They kind of just kept it pretty faithful, you know, to what they're supposed to look like. So, yeah, kudos to the Mega Man, you know, Ruby Spears designs. I think they did a decent job.
You're welcome. I don't know.
Yeah.
Thanks, Ruby Spears.
Hey, yeah, thank you guys. I'm sorry if I'm like talking so much. Ruby Spears is like, I'm very passionate about Ruby Spears Mega Man, so I apologize.
Yeah, that's how we all came together in the first place.
He's a national treasure.
He is a national treasure. I just apologize if I talk over. He did. Ooh, boy, did he ever. Yeah, Mega Man, you guys might not know your American history, but he saved the Lincoln Memorial from the dastardly Proto Man.
Yeah. He failed to save JFK, but that's a story.
He had flashbacks. No. He's gonna blast President Lincoln, and he took the bullet for him.
Not this time.
Oh my god.
That's, you know, it's just how it is.
It's canon. Update the history books.
There you go. I want to see Mega Man in our American history books, but how he failed to save JFK, but managed to protect President Lincoln.
Deemed.
There it is. But yeah, so the muscle thing. I don't know. It seems weird at first, but you care about it less and less as the show goes on. You know, just give it a watch. I say this every time I get the chance. Please go watch Ruby Spears Mega Man. It's fantastic.
Oh, it is. And if you want our opinions on it, Mega March of last year is where you need to go.
Oh yeah, for sure. We had Brian on for an episode. We delve into the mysteries of the Lion Men, and we went deeper than we ever thought we would. So
I don't want to go deep into Lion Men.
I don't want to dip our toes into that territory again. I'm gonna consider that case closed on our end, but go check it out. But yeah, you know, I like looking at it. I like seeing the designs they went for with Ruby Spears. And
yeah, for the most part, they're all great. I love them.
Yeah.
And it all started with Mega Man, I guess. Like, he's the base of everyone else.
Yeah, pretty much.
As far as design goes, yeah.
You know, he's got like the blue arms and legs, the light blue limbs and torso, and he's got like a blue helmet on. Like, he doesn't really have anything too outside the realm of like what would normally be possible. The main difference here is just that they up their proportions to be a little bit, you know, more humanoid and less cartoony, and for some reason everyone is shredded. Everyone has a six-pack. Everyone has pecs. Everyone's got you know biceps for days.
Including Dr. Light. You take that thing off. He's got the most.
Listen,
he's like Mike Hagar under there.
You missed that. We never got to see it because Mega Man Season 3 just didn't happen. But there was an episode where X goes back to the future and Dr. Light takes the lab coat off and he's ripped and he performs a Hadoken right up in Vile's face.
Oh man, is that the Street Fighter cartoon crossover episode?
Oh, that would have been
awesome.
great. See, now that would have been amazing because was that made by Ruby Spears too?
I think so.
I feel like it was because they came out around the same time.
Probably same voices, similar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it had McNeil on it, but everything had McNeil on it.
That's true. Yeah, we did a little bit of a deep dive into this, and we were talking about these voice actors from the 90s, and man, they were just in everything.
Yeah, oh yeah, they were.
They were our entire childhoods. It just rolled into one package. You know, just every single cartoon. If it didn't have Scott McNeil on it, it's just like it wasn't a 90s cartoon. You know? Like, it's just how it was. It's crazy.
Scott McNeil, seal of approval.
There you go.
Yeah.
Can I just...
He said-
oh, you go ahead.
He's had the same haircut forever. I love that man.
I was just gonna say.
It's great.
I was just gonna say I have a picture of him that I used in one of my videos, and then I looked up a more recent picture of him. He just looks the same. He's got the same hat and outfit on, like same hair.
Yep. Yeah. That's what
Yeah.
Maria said when we met him. She's like, he's always wearing that same shirt and same hat.
But I
I'm
tell
like,
you
he's
what,
consistent. It's cool.
that's how you know it's Scott McNeil.
Yeah. Well, you know that episode of Doug where Doug shows everybody his clothes in his closet and it's just the same outfit. Like,
Yes.
hangs-
Scott McNeil. Yeah.
Scott
Oh, man.
McNeil is Doug.
Guys, like, my wife and I were watching Riverdale, and he showed up, and like, oh my god, that's Scott McNeil.
Wait,
And
you had
my
an
wife's like,
episode?
several episodes. He's a
What?
regular. Yeah.
Huh.
The hat is off, but he's doing his whole, duo Maxwell thing, and I'm like,
No
"That's
way.
Scott-" Yeah, I'm like, this is Scott McNeil. My wife's like, who?
Scott
I'm
McNeil.
Ooh.
freaking out. Yeah, so it's like a regular like acting gig. I've never seen him do that before.
That's interesting.
I'm really happy
Yeah.
for him.
Yeah, totally.
We heard a little bit. We don't have too much information, but I don't know when this will go up. But we have some information on another voice actor who is also going to be appearing in some other movies, getting some screen time, which I thought was fantastic to hear about.
Yeah.
I won't say too much because I figure we'll save it for that video, but I was like, wow, good for them, getting some actual screen time, because they were also another person who pretty much appeared in so many things where, like, you'd hear their voice and I'm just like, that's Mega Man.
Mhm.
You know?
Oh man.
We were joking once about how Ian Corlett did Mega Man, but we were also saying how there was, like, weirdly, all of those Mega Man voice actors on Ruby Spears showed up in other shows. Like, they all showed up together, like, at the same time. It was very strange. Like,
They're a package deal.
Yeah, my favorite is very much 90s, where you have to get, like, the whole set, you know? My favorite...
Now that's what I'll call 90s voice act.
There you go, exactly. Yeah, I want, like, a demo disc of, like, all their character voices. But, my favorite was, in Johnny Test, apparently, Ian James Corlett and everyone else from Mega Man are just on that show as regulars. They're just... I think, Corlett is, Johnny's dad. I think one of the voice actresses for Roll is... I think it's Johnny's mom. And crazy enough, the voice actor for Vile ended up being Bling Bling Boy.
It's a little reunion.
So,
Well,
I don't know,
well,
it's just crazy to me that everyone just kind of ended up together, all these, and I just also like to think of just the contrast going from, Vile, Reploid from the future to, oh, sweet cute and test, Oh, you know, like, it's just craziness to me that he is on opposite spectrums of the cool meter, you know?
You know, I've never seen an episode of Johnny Test, and this makes me not want to.
Yeah, don't.
Tarnish.
Yeah, stop ruining Vile for me.
When you have a... when you've got a villain named Bling Bling Boy, you know that your show is dated. Remember when that was cool? Everyone was like, "Oh man, bling bling."
Oh man, yeah, that's so far out that like it took until just now to realize like, oh yeah, that was a thing that people would say.
That was the thing people would say. You know, isn't there like a web tool for this, like Blingify or like Glitterfy or something? And
Oh
like,
my goodness!
I
it
think
adds
so.
like
Yes.
sparkling glitter to every image you upload.
Some kind of photo bucket thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's still around. You can still use it if you want. I love
Yeah.
using it nowadays because it's so out of touch. It's great. It's hilarious. Just you drop a picture of something normal, but then you slap like a million lens flares and like diamonds all over it, and you're like, I got it now. It's perfect. But that was at a point unironically cool. It's what everyone thought, you know, was going to be the new thing, I guess.
Yeah. That's what Mega Man thought. That's what he protected the future for, and he's like, my god, this is what I was protecting.
It's like, it's not worth it. Take me back. I want to go
Not
back to the
JFK.
past.
Yeah.
If you had just saved JFK, none of this would have happened. The history of mankind would have been altered irreparably.
It's like, no, I was built in your image. Why?
Oh, goodness.
Goodness.
Perfect.
Dang it.
I don't have anything else to say about Mega Man besides Mega High, but you know,
Mega buy.
Mega
Get
Buy.
Get out.
Guys, we're on the same wavelength.
You don't have to go home, but you can't stay here.
One thing I am gonna say in comparison to I said this last time during some of the other characters that we were talking about. Captain N Mega Man is very much like original artwork and or sprite work sized. Like he's got the correct proportions for that. But then they just go off the rails. Ruby Spears Mega Man is kind of proportioned up. And they gave him all sorts of extra details and stuff, and also extra gadgets that, like, I'm fairly certain they just pulled out of their rear ends. But that's fine. Like the sunglasses he has in that one image, you know?
Yeah.
Or like the, you know, I don't know, he had like so many other things, like an infrared pair of glasses he could use. All sorts of crazy stuff. But that was all, you know, cyber fluff for the episodes.
Yeah.
I feel like those additions were fine because they didn't come up too often, but like Captain N Mega Man was just like, let's just slap a bunch of things together and call it Mega Man. So there's doing it right and there's doing it wrong. Ruby Spears did very right, and I wish that there was just more Ruby Spears content out there.
Yes. Well, the
That's all I
reunion
want.
may happen.
Maybe.
It's basically just two voice actors.
It's true.
just gotta get it going.
Every time.
Brian, use your connections to make it happen.
Oh my gosh.
I hope they still exist, but yeah.
Yeah, I don't think Ruby Spears Productions is still around anymore. But
I think
doesn't
Ruby
matter.
Spears himself is dead.
yeah, I think they were.
We can draw it ourselves.
I would. You know, I just discovered the other day that this old Saturday morning cartoon show, Thundar the Barbarian, was apparently a Ruby Spears cartoon. I never knew that. I used to. It was like this like, you know, kind of like Birdman Space Ghost-esque kind of post-apocalypse cartoon, and somehow we got on the topic of it on my Discord server, and then I actually went and watched like the intro and the credits, and then all of a sudden, bam, they just slapped me in the face with the Ruby Spears logo. I'm like, get out of town, really? So if they were back then, you know, doing this kind of stuff, I really don't think they're still around anymore.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. Yeah, they're long gone.
They're probably, but you know what?
But not forgotten.
Not forgotten. May light rest their soul.
May the metals sing thee to thy rest.
Oh my gosh. Anyway, I don't know. I don't got anything else to say. I think I covered it all. I just really wanted to talk about all those things. We're done. That's it. We're edit. Done. Cut it here.
Cut!
Cut! No, not that.
Not yet.
So yeah, I guess that's it. Thank you everybody for joining us. Let us know down in the comments what you like about the Ruby Spears designs or don't like. Let us know what you like or don't like about Captain N. Tell us how you think the two compare, which one is more faithful, which one deviates the most. Is there a version of Mega Man that we didn't talk about in this video that you think deserves some recognition? I'm sure some of you are probably crying afoul right now that we didn't talk about Fully Charged, but maybe that'll be for another time. But right now,
yeah, maybe
we're focusing on the oldies, and we'll get to Fully Charged in its own right eventually. So,
yep,
that's it for me. What do you guys think?
Yep, I'm donezo.
Yeah,
Donezo.
Mega Man. That one really hurt.
It sounded painful.
Yeah, don't strain yourself.
Be sure to subscribe to the channel and check out these guys and enjoy Mega March. Whoa!
I don't know him. I don't know him.
I'm sorry.
All right, so we'll reconvene for the next episode of Mega March after many glasses of water, and we hope to see you guys there. Until then, you guys take it easy.
Bye. Thanks for coming.
So long.
Bye. Have a really good time. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and end this here.